Welcome to the Scale Builders Guild. It's What's on the Bench, episode 93. Yes, it says that right up there. Welcome to the stream, and thank you to Outcast RC and Wildman Joe B. You're both gold level ding-dongs. Hello, everyone. If you're here, you're either in the emergency room or you haven't yet blown off your hands. So happy Independence Day to those of you who celebrate that. We were independent on the 1st. That was our day. When did we do that? You did it in 1776, right? And we did it in like 1867, I want to say. Jake's Truck Adventures Emergency Room Gang. And I can still count to 21. That's great. Hopefully you are having a nice holiday. Do you get this is what I wanted to know, because July 4th falls on a Thursday. Do you get tomorrow off too, or do you have to go back to work? I don't know. So you tell me. What's the deal with that? I didn't really know what. Hell no. All right, that's good. Excellent. I don't know if that's an everybody thing or just some people thing. Yeah, see, okay. So Wyoming Crawler, he's got to go back to work. Pilot Ryan Media, opening the shop, I'm sure. Steve, you're welcome. I'm glad you sent your address. I will get you at least one, but I don't know what size. Yeah, 4 days off without pay here. Boss is drunk. Speaking of, no, that's brutal. Yeah, we got what day was the first for us? Monday, right? Was Monday the 1st? Yes. So we got that day off, but we were back to work Tuesday, and like regular stuff. So who's blowing off some fingers tonight? It's probably too early for fireworks on the West Coast, so you're probably enjoying yourself a glizzy or a hot dog. Is it a hot dog on the East? No, it's a glizzy on the East Coast and a hot dog on the West Coast. All right, so yeah, I didn't really have much planned. Are those yellow painted figures painted like Breaking Bad? No, they're only yellow for now, but they will at some point match the whole build with the kind of the gold chopped tow kind of carbon fiber. What do they call that stuff? I'm having a moment. What is it called? Carbon fiber toe, chopped toe. What is it? Forged. Thank you, Jeffrey. I was like, what's this stuff called? Yes. All right. I blew through a few magazines of ammo earlier, now waiting for my kids at the drive-in. All right. Congratulations. No, the reason they're yellow right now is I'm trying a couple different techniques on the suits. Yellow is sort of like just the base color. Yellow just as the base. But what I'm going to do is I've got these Posca paint pens here. And I'm going to try just doing like an outline with the yellow, just to sort of highlight the edges of things. And then I'm going to go and airbrush some bright brass. Bright brass. Going to brass it up. Because I want it to sort of match this. Look at that shine. Wow. Hello, Joseph from Guam. Hazad3, thank you very much. So for a sign of fireworks, loss of fingers, do you plan to set that H10 off like last year's scale rig? You're going to have to remind me. What was last year's scale rig? I can't remember. Help me out. And thank you. Brassers on a Thursday. Hey, that can happen any day of the week, Chris. Okay, so what I was going to do, let me just do this while we're here. Love being able to zoom in. There we go. So I actually airbrushed this while it was assembled. And look, I was able to stay pretty close to within the lines. For me, that's pretty good. I'm shaky. But what I want to do, I just want to see if this is even going to work. Yeah, that'll probably work. So see that? I'm just highlighting the edges. So now when I go back in, it's going to have a bit of extra color just in those areas, the edges. I don't know if this is a technique or not. It's just something I thought I would try just to see what it looks like. Yeah. It's subtle, but that's the idea. The Sorka Comp ESC. Oh, was that last year? Are you talking about Alabama? Because that one definitely blew up in spectacular fashion. Yeah. So maybe that's it. And yes, Blind IRC, thank you very much. Much appreciated. 2 live streams this week. Yes, mostly because I owed everyone a What's on the Bench live. So I thought I would just kind of twofer and get this done now. This is a big pen to be trying to do this with. But I like a challenge. And it's going to get quiet, and my tongue might come out. But yeah, I'm going to do basically sort of like a brassy bronze and black, I think, just to kind of seal in the theme. We'll see. Any room in that Night Customs H10 inside for a functioning speedometer screen? It's pretty tight in there. I mean, there's room back there, but I don't know if that interferes with anything. I guess it actually probably doesn't. You might be able to get something functional in there. We'll see. But I definitely test it, try it out. I think so. Okay, good. I'm glad I got that right. Do you think there will be room for a VFD twin and servos plus the interior and all the servos in the optic? I mean, probably not. I don't remember exactly what James said, but I think he said something to the effect of not everything's going to fit. But, don't take my word for it. I would ask him. He's the guy. P yellow. No, sure. Yeah. Yep. You're absolutely right. Actually, you know what? Those are probably meant to be gloves, but we're going to make them not gloves. This is really literally just to add a highlight. And once we go back over it with the rest of the airbrushing, you won't even really probably see much of it. It's sort of like shading. A lot of this stuff is done in Warhammer modeling stuff. You give everything a bit of a extra bit of shine or edges. It might work, it might not. We'll see. The fun is in the trying, and that's something I always want to try to sort of reinforce, is that it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to try something new and fail, as long as you learn something and can apply it the next time you do something. Oh, good. I left my compressor on overnight. Means I don't have to turn on all that noise right away. Yeah. Edge highlights. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, mad scientist of makers. I wish I had the confidence in my own painting skills to chat through it all. I'm 100% focused and it's still awful. Well, we're not done yet. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I wanted to try a base of yellow and then the brass over top, because this brass is fairly translucent, I found. So I was kind of hoping, you know, without buying more paint, that this would sort of give me the effect I was looking for. Not leaving, I'm just getting some paper towel. Just because I don't have a good piece of cardboard in here. Okay. Let's see if this works at all. Now it might be loud. I'm warning you now. But I am going to try to do just a little piece here, and then we'll see if it's kind of working. Not really showing up well on this camera, but I can assure you it's quite a nice gold color now. Let's do more. The other benefit to this is that it doesn't really matter that I'm going over other details, because I'm just going to go back in and probably use a paint pen on just like the detail stuff. It's starting to look pretty good. It'll probably require a couple of coats. But yeah, because this is a very, despite it being bright brass, it is fairly not bright. It's really, really translucent. But it is adding a nice golden sheen, which is exactly what I was hoping for. Yeah, I'm going to be happy with that. I think that's going to work out really nicely. I'm not going to do the whole thing on this stream. That would bore everyone to death. But let's add a little more detail. Maybe just see how the black is going to work against that gold. And I've got a couple of options for black. Let's see what I got here. Sharpie poster paint, just a water-based, like an acrylic, basically. There's also my heroic, very heroic. And what else have I got in here? Oh, I can use the Poscas as well. Now, Poscas, they come in like, you know, a bunch of different sizes. These are the 8mm ones, or 0.8 millimeter. Not sure how it works. Where's my black one? Probably in here. There it is. Salt Pond, I've only used rattle cans. Pretty neat how precise the airbrush is. It can be. It all depends in the size of the tip that you use. It's all about the size of the tip. Oh my God. The stream has already gone. Oh, dang. What happened there? Let's try to fix that. That's not good. I probably broke everyone's TV. I may have to quickly dip out of here and just come right back. 1 second. There we go. Like I never left. You know what that was? I undid the cable as I was moving the camera. My apologies. Spilled green paint on everything. Holy green. Hazad, thank you very much. You mentioned Warhammer in detail, but yet you are painting already connected parts. Also, please tell us this will be flannel. No flannel. I think a lot of people do full assembly and then paint afterwards. Sometimes they don't, depending on their techniques. And while this is fully assembled, it isn't really. I can pop the heads off at any time I like, and I will when I get to detailing and painting those because they're in a pretty precarious place. But everything else is basically one piece. I mean, yes, the arms are separate, but they, you know, they're attached by elastic bands. So it's pretty easy to take those apart if you need to. Yeah, let's do a little detailing here. I'm just going to do these top bits of the Sparco race seats, or not race seats. These are race suits. Race suits. All right. So you can see how all of a sudden going over the lines doesn't really matter. And while this is a little glossy right now, I'll knock that all back later on. Yeah, that's going to have a nice look. I'm already quite happy with that. That's going to be good. Now, I could get really fancy and go in there with a brush afterwards just to tidy up some of these things. And I might actually do that. Oops. Yeah, it's going to look good. Happy with that. Happy with the start on that. It'll be nice to get that all detailed. We'll add in all the little, you know, aluminum bits and straps and everything, and probably get some decals. I have decals for all of these seat belts and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna look good. It'll be a nice camera. Be a nice match to this whole thing once it's finished. And it'll knock back once it's in there too. Cool. All right. Painting demo over for today. I'll come back and do more later. But since you're here, why don't you tell me what you want to see? Oh, forgot to mention every time I donate to you, it locks up my cards. That's not good. I would talk to your credit card company about donating to YouTube. Are you going to paint your eyes blue? I think I'll keep them green. That was really funny that James's painter was like, just said, yeah, he's got blue eyes, so we're making him blue. Yes, Craig, I agree with you. When you build car models, I put together as much as I can before painting, makes a stronger model and done. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Harnesses. Hans device. Yes. Seat belts. Are the Heroics oil-based? No, they're acrylic as well. I don't use much oil-based stuff. The only time I'm using oils, and I don't even think I have any out here. All my washes and everything, those are all acrylic as well. Only time I use oils is, wear me some gloves, is when I'm doing the oil brusher method for weathering. And then I use these oil-based brushes, oil brushers. These are oil-based. But yeah, I don't have much in the way of that stuff, mostly because I work in a fairly confined space, and I don't want to work with that. I want to see you put a small speaker in there, and every time the heads turn, the truck says, we are checking. I thought it should say you can't park there, because he did say that to me. Ooh, Artful Dodgers chassis. Yeah, we got to do that too. I wasn't prepared for that tonight, and I don't have it handy. I think it's somewhere. I don't know where. But yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe for another special stream just for that, we'll do that. Thank you for the idea, Organized Chaos. CUCV, let's go. Nothing's changed on that since the last video, so probably not worth showing. Though I was told I designed my seat to be too high, which I guess technically I did. So I'm going to have to redesign that seat and, re-detail it, paint it. I've seen a bunch. I was looking online again at CUCV bench seats, and I'm thinking it would be really funny to make a seat, but then to just make a really crappy cover for it and just put that over it, because I've seen a bunch of those. All right, I'm so chuffed with this. I think this whole thing looks really cool. Okay, get rid of it though. I'm done looking at you for right now. Oh, somebody wanted to see the little tiny Ford body. I can share that with you. Here it is. Not much has changed. It's still brown. That lettering comes from Ampro Engineering. Driver 944. No, that's just an FDM print. You could print it in resin. There's nothing stopping you. I don't like my resin printer. I don't like how much work it is, if I'm honest. I'm lazy about resin printing, because I can get pretty good results with the carbon fiber filament from Bamboo in the X1 Carbon, so I tend to not bother much anymore. You should build your kit. I should build it, but I don't think tonight's the night. This is going to be a short stream because I know most of you people are probably going to be celebrating your independence. Yeah, but let me quickly go over some of the details here. I'll pull the interior out and get a better look at that for everybody. But again, resin printed rear lettering from Ampro. He also does the full interior, which I'm going to show you now because it's worth showing you, because it's really quite well done. Beep, bop, boop. This was resin printed. Did I say that already? Probably. But it's a really, really nice piece. I fully detailed this one. And wow, that looks pretty good. Every little It's really hard to see, but every dial in the dash there has the ability to be lit from behind, so you can have them light up. I'm going to get a green LED. I think that was probably accurate for the time. Come on, focus. Focus. Get focusing. Unbelievable. Stupid camera. There we go. So yeah, you can see the light shining through in the center console there. But yeah, it's really, really nicely done. Really nicely done. I also did a little flocking. I flocked myself and the carpet there on the bottom. You can see it's a little bit randomized, so it's like a little bit heavier in places, and it looks like it's been rubbed down in others. I just thought it was kind of a nice looking technique. If you've never flocked before, it's a great technique. It's really super simple too. Most like model shops will carry it, and it allows you to kind of give things that textured carpet kind of look. And I'm pretty chuffed with that. It turned out pretty good. So yeah, Ampro Engineering, you do have to find yourself a Blackfoot body. So I'm not sure what the deal is on those lately. I guess they're not super hard to find. Not easy to find either. But yeah, he offers all the parts to kind of make this a little more scale accurate. So you get the lettering, you get the rear window detailing, you get the front lettering, you can get the interior. There are also better mirrors, which are around here somewhere. Forgive me, I have a lot of junk in here. Where are they? Oh, I know I pulled 2 off the sprues, but all I see right now are the sprue ones. But there they are. Resin printed as well for me. Flock around and find out. Who knew flocking would be so easy? I thought you found an old Tamiya Blackfoot body. I did. I found it on eBay. Hello, Joe. Magic School Truck, thanks for checking in. Ampro does awesome work. Yes, he does. Hey, Phoenix, thank you very much for becoming a YouTube member. Much appreciated. I should really get this project done. Looks like a USTE type interior. Sad news about that. Am I right? That is definitely sad news, and an unexpected bit of news too, if you ask me. I didn't know that things were not going to be happening anymore. I thought that was sort of like it was a given. That was just going to be an event every year. If the timing was better for me, I would have definitely gone back. So it's disappointing to see that it won't be coming back. I'm really hoping that something does fill the void for that. Cool. So yeah, this is going to be a fun little build. I'm going to have to get a man, I think, to fit in there. Side windows I'll have to do. They'll have to be Lexan. The front window, I think, is tinted. Yeah, which kind of sucks. I'll have to see if someone does a vacuum formed Lexan pop of that, so I don't have to do tint. We'll see. But yeah, it's a cute little chassis and cute little truck, and it sits on there really quite nicely, actually. I think that's like it's a fun looking little guy, little 12th scale doodad. I have not flocked in a long time. Those days are gone. Your wife girlfriend, I don't know. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hey, Ray, you've got all your fingers, unfortunately. Lee Majors, eh? Did he have a step side? Is that what they call this one? I feel like he didn't. But look at this. It's like perfect little track width and everything, like just a little tiny bit outside. I like it. I like it very much. All right, what's next? What else can we share with you? You know what? Let's take a look at something with some leaf springs. I think that would be fun. Oh, I was also on that build. I was gonna put this thing on the bed, just to annoy people. That was one of my first experiments with etching. Hey, Rich is in here. Rich Trujillo. Trujillo. Great to see you, my friend. I miss you. We'll get you on the show soon, okay? Here's something that annoys a lot of people. Let's get wider. There we go. All right, widen it out. Fall Guy was a Chevy? Was there another show that he had a truck? Who knows? Who knows? RC Pete, thanks for becoming a member. Much appreciated. Okay, let me take this body off so we can actually get a good look at the chassis and all of the parts underneath it. I used Shrink RC's mounts for this extra cab body for the VS410. They worked 100% perfectly. Because this is sort of a hack kit, you will require some trimming to make this work. Fall Guy truck was a GMC and a fleet side. All right, very good. Thank you very much. So it's sitting a little high right now because these leaves obviously haven't been worked in at all. But Twisted Fab Co. Falvey Design Works are responsible for this mayhem. And it is just a regular VS. Let's get this interior out of the way. This is just a regular VS410. This was the Phoenix straight axle kit when it started. But now it's obviously much, much more than that. It had a VFD twin. Did that kit come with that? I honestly can't recall. Thanks, Paul, for helping out with the views. Much appreciated. Rich, RC four-wheel drive suggestions. Use set screws instead of button heads to hold the body on. Yeah, I did that. I think I might have been one of the first people to do that. Maybe not, though. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But yes, good idea. I forgot you worked there. You worked there during their golden years. Then just pull the body away from the sides. Would have happened to remove the screws all the time. Yeah, exactly. I did that on the Marlin Crawler. VFD in my Phoenix straight axle kit. Yeah. Straight axle Phoenix kit had a twin. Thank you very much. Golden year. Yeah, to celebrate Toyota-thon, I'm wearing a shirt that has many Toyotas on it. Look at that. That is a fine shirt. That's from Huff. VRD is very expensive here. It's very expensive many places. Someone should come up with some sort of pin mod for the TF2. Do they still make that truck? All right, let's stop bashing RC four-wheel drive and talk about what's happened here. Okay? All right, so as you can see, the majority of the chassis still kind of exists. And I haven't tested this, but I bet you could still put the battery tray back in and it might fit. You'd have to do something about the interior, but that's a tomorrow problem. But as you can see, Twisted Fab Works supplies all the stuff you need to do the leaf conversion. And he's tested this himself. So everything should kind of work. Shouldn't have any trouble. He's looking at making anti-wrap bar mounts. So that would be a thing I would definitely want to do, and I'll show you why in a little bit. But you can see front shackle is the proper shackle for a Toyota, which is not the, not this part in the front. You get the firm shackle mount up front and then the movable one in the rear as it's supposed to be. Not much else really changes here. You do add another mount, obviously, on the side right there. This one's got a little tiny bit of fuel tubing in it to act as a bushing, which is great. Makes it nice and quiet. It's not all squeaky, squeak, 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 squeak. And it offers so much travel for a leaf-sprung truck. It's pretty amazing what they're getting out of this. He makes all of his own leafs. All the leaf packs come already assembled, ready to go. There's basically one long one and then a very short one up front, and then there is a long, a medium, and a short in the rear. So you get a bit more firm in the rear. But it just like, it's just so nice. This works so well. I'm not sure how he's going to do this, but Pricey's shocks were also included in my kit. I'm not sure if they will be in the final rendition, but 120s up front, 110s. No, wait, 110s in the front, 120s in the rear. Yeah, I think that's the vibe. Shock towers, of course, are included. These that he included are the wrong ones. But in any further kits going into the future, the proper ones will be included. He sent me the DXFs, so I'm going to send them to Send Cut Send, get them lasered, and I will also be changing out the you can't see it, but on the F toy we'll be changing out the fronts, reversing the shackles there as well. So yeah, it's a pretty great kit. Obviously, because this is a Toyota, I put F10Ts under it. The front one still has the panhard mount, but I am probably, I don't know if I can eliminate it completely. I think it does. One of the mounting points for the leaf spring mount is required, so I might not be able to get rid of that. But on the rear, I did get rid of the center upper link mounts, and all I did there was take off the pumpkin portion that has all of the gears and everything in it. Took that off, put it into the vise, and sawed everything off, and then cleaned it up and painted it. So it looks pretty clean under there. You can tell it's different paint, but it's pretty good. Yes, Bluetooth drive shafts do need to be swapped out for. I might go Wi-Fi drive shafts on those. Not sure. Zod3, thank you very much. Let's see the FJ4045 half track. Have not seen it since you started the CUCV. Okay, I can get that out in a sec. Sure. Yeah, this is so fun, and I'm glad to see people are still experimenting with this ancient technology. For not a huge investment, you can really ruin a truck really well, like I have here. It's fantastic. I'm super excited about the whole thing. One thing to mention about the Pricey's shocks: there's no springs inside these ones. These are like they're there just to dampen. Should I take this off screen, or do you like it enough more? I saw there was a hashtag on someone's leaf spring build that said leaf springs are for poor people, and I took offense to that. I've spent more on this than I have on linked trucks. Hey, is that Dan the man? Thanks for sending my package so quickly, Dan. Much appreciated. Hope you're well. Happy Independence Day. Think you could talk Josh into building one for his Suga? No, he'll never do anything like this. This is not his style. I should mention, the only cuts I had to make here were on the actual skids for the body mounts. You can probably see I just had to clearance the front and the rear because of the leaf spring mounts. They stick out, obviously, about whatever that is, 2 millimeters. And you just have to take 2 millimeters out of the skids, and then you're good to go. God, this honestly, this is going to be so much fun. I've picked out color schemes. Oh, I forgot to mention, on the leaf spring mounts, they're 3D printed, but they're 3D printed in TPU. So you have some of that flexibility built in, like you used to have to do on the Marlin crawler from the TF2, where you'd put like the gaskets or like an O-ring on there to give it a bit more flex. That's what this does. So smart. Really great kit. So yeah, highly recommend this. I don't know if these are going to be the wheels and tires I go with. I'll probably do like Shoddy RC when he made the, you know what, I'll just get the F-toy now. But when he made those, the beadlock rings for me with the SBG logo or the word mark in here, I was just like, yeah, man, I gotta do that again because it looks so good. Who makes this again? It's Twisted Fab Co. All one word on Instagram. Oh, Magic School Truck answered. And so did other people. Thank you very much. My name Jeff. I want to put leaves in the back of my VS410 Comanche and keep the links up front like my real truck. You could do that. I bet you could ask him to just give you the rear kit. I mean, wheelbase aside, because he built this kit for that extra cab body. So, you know, depending on your wheelbase, I'm sure he could knock something out. But yeah, it's so rad. Anyway, speaking of leaf springs and why you need anti-wrap bars, this is the Brazen Scale full party. No, C1 Pro Leafer. Yes, that's the one. It still has Colorado dirt on it because it rained while we were there, and that red dirt off of those red rocks, it doesn't come off. It's like on there forever. So yeah, but what I wanted to share with you, let's turn it around so you can see the front first. You can see I kind of hacked a anti-wrap bar together, and it's just, it should really be a 2-point mount up front, and it should be on a swivel at the actual chassis. But this worked fine, and as you can see, these leaf springs, what was that? Oh, it was a shock. These leaf springs, totally fine. No problem whatsoever. I, for whatever reason, opted to not put a anti-wrap bar on the rear. And that didn't work out so well for me. I've sort of tried my best to bend them back, but they are dickered for the most part. Which one got the real beating? This one, I think, or this one actually, yeah. It's, you know what, I'll take the wheel off and you'll see what I mean. Yeah. They're pretty badly destroyed. That's what I get though for running a 8-pound truck with leaf springs. Anti-wrap bar for the win. I'm definitely going to do that the next time. Also, I do have to replace all of these shocks, but that means taking the body off, which is a real pain in the butt. I'll do it. I just don't feel like doing it today. But yeah, Steve from Pricey's sent me shocks to put on here, and again, there's no actual like springs in there or anything. It's just to damp out the leaves. So that will be a nice replacement. Gonna tie this whole truck together. Mega chuffed on this one. It's one of those trucks that honestly I knew it wasn't going to do well, and it didn't. But I had such a good time building it. And I think that's something that we have to kind of remember. That leaf has more ass than Mississippi. So good. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming and watching. Thank you, all of you, Thank you all, almost 300 of you, for watching tonight. Really appreciate you. I know that there could be other things you could be doing that are probably a lot more exciting. Yeah, so I do still want to do the shackle reverse on this. I think it'll make it perform slightly better. I'll probably take the weight out of the wheels. I don't think we need all of that weight. It's a little heavy. But otherwise, it's exactly what I wanted from a truck. And I'm very, very pleased with it. Nope, this beats wet sanding 100%. Kev, I'm with you, man. Although, you could be doing it as you're watching the stream. 2 birds, 1 stone. That would be my recommendation. He lives local to you. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, hey. That's you, Frank, right? Frank? Yes. He's super nice when I've dealt with him, yeah. He's a very talented guy, 100%. What were those oil brush pen things? I can explain that to you. I don't know that I can show you a demonstration today unless I still have something that's been weathered that way that's in here. Dang it, I don't. Shoot. Where do all my trucks go? Anyway, these are, they're called Oil Brusher, and they're from MIG. It's an oil-based paint. It's mostly just the pigment. There's a little bit of oil in there, but it's pigment. And the idea with these is that you, it's like a mascara. Yeah, just a little tiny brush. And what you do is you dab dots onto the full exterior of the body, and you do like a whole bunch of different colors. Like if you're doing like when I was doing the truck, the yellow semi truck, I used green. What's this one called? Starship Filth. I used a little bit of red primer, white and brown and yellow. I basically used the whole rainbow there. And once you have all those dots on there and sort of like a random stippled kind of pattern, you go in with a dry brush and a little tiny bit of thinner, and you just like rub it all out. What did I do it on other than that? I did it on another body recently. I did it on this body here. Hang on. I did it on this guy. And obviously you can't really see it now because it's already been done. But what it does is it kind of randomizes the color and the pattern of weathering. If that's the best way I could describe it, I guess. And it gives paint that sort of old look in the most natural way. I guess that's probably the best way I can describe it. It looks fantastic. When you see a panel that hasn't been done, and then you see a panel that has been done, that variation just makes it look so much more realistic. It's one of my favorite techniques. I use it all the time. Dippy. I did it on Dippy and Shippy, and those cars turned out great. Of course, they're in the other room, and they're behind a bunch of boxes, so I can't get those out today. But there you go. It's a really cool technique, and one that I highly recommend. You guys, you remember this truck? What did they call these trucks? This was from Axial, of course. What truck was this? UMG 10, right. But this is a scale garage system rear bed that just looks spectacular. So good. Very much more Unimog than the caged out version that Axial did. And it takes what was a pretty basic looking Lexan body and kind of elevates it with a nice, cool, different setup. I also love this truck. This is sort of my go-to trail truck when I'm going out for an adventure with a group or whatever. I'll take this because it's short wheelbase, it's high. I put portals under it because Unimog stuff. And I love it. Nice, fun truck. And with that back bed on it, or with the flatbed style, it's awesome. Oh no, I lost a tail lamp. Darn it. All right. Who wanted to see the half track? Let's try to get the half track out. There's far too much stuff in this room. It needs a cleaning very, very badly. Ooh. All right. Here we go. It's half track time. There it is, the Scale Builders Guild Mining Company. I have not driven this in some time. I built this for Axial Fest 2018, I want to say. Holy, that was a long time ago. That rig was made me make my FJ into a truck from the sedan. Nice. Yeah, this was a very fun conversion, actually. This started life as a RC four-wheel drive cruiser body, of course, which was obviously longer, and a 4x4 instead of just a single cab. But a nice cut right here, and then some joining and filling and styrene work got it to be a pretty clean single cab. Then, of course, to make this Axial Fest legal, I couldn't just run the back half as a tank. And I wanted to make this as accurate as possible. So it's got an axial axle turning the rear sprockets. There is a transfer case in the middle, a GCM front motor mount, because this is an SCX 10. GCM front motor transmission mount goes into this transfer case. It's a special transfer case that was designed by GCM based on my specs to make sure that the tracks turned at the same speed as the front tires. So it functions. And because these are SCX 10 axles, I put a differential in the rear axle. So this actually moves independently of each other. The grease has long since leaked out, so it's a pretty loose diff. But it is one of my most favorite builds of all time because it's just so darn weird. And it's competed in a Class 0 competition once and did not come in last. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Not saying much, honestly, because it's not capable whatsoever. Class 0, of course. But yeah, I was just sort of like, this was a fun build. This was one of those weird, not really anything I'd ever seen before. And it drives pretty well. On sand, it's great. On dirt, it's fine. It's not great on rocks, but it wasn't really the intention. Yeah, it got a lot of attention, though, and some people were like, you should enter that in the concourse. And I was like, yeah, but at the time, I was sort of like half working with Axial. I wasn't not working with them, but I worked in sort of like a volunteer sort of capacity at Axial Fest. And I was like, well, I'm not going to enter this into the concourse event while I'm kind of working with them. It seemed kind of odd. Anyway, that's the truck. One that is very fun. It's super squeaky too. When it drives, it's got all of the tank noise you would expect. Look at this. It's really great. It's one of my most favorite things. It's so dumb. Hood comes off because that's where the battery goes. Oh, I can show you the inside. Or can I? Yeah, there you go. Front motor mount, transmission, 48 pitch gears. It's all running off of a Tekin. What is that? That's the tiny one, the XR. And it's got a sound unit in there, but the sound unit sucks. And it's always making a bang kind of noise, so I barely ever run it with that. I did some very rudimentary magnet mounts that actually do kind of work pretty well. Holds everything in place. There you go. Yeah, old-timey Cali license plate. I'll show you the underside. There's not much to see under there. But, yeah. Primered the whole thing. I did the same paint job that one of the guys at USTE did with his VS410 Origin. Painted the whole thing in tractor red. Yeah. Simple truck. Not really. Super complicated. It took me forever to figure this out. But it was a very fun build. I'm glad people appreciate it. It's one of those weird ones that you're like, will people get this? Or will they think it's stupid? I think there's a little tiny bit of both. That's one of those things that, you know, I've had forever. I'll never get rid of it. Can't get rid of it. No one would buy it. That thing is amazing. Is there a video? Yes, there's a few videos on it, Paul. I think I called it Toyota built a half-track ? Does the Christie suspension work? Is that what tanks have? And if so, yes, it does. Who had the John Deere one? Oh, I don't remember. But it was a gent from Florida. Owned a hobby shop. His name escapes me right now. If you ever sell it, I'll sell my 68 Charger to pay for it. Trade straight up. I don't have any room for that. Okay, what did people want to see next? Was there anything? That model doesn't have it. Okay, fair enough. Dana, how did you forget about this? You know that this was happening. Your steam-powered rig was awesome. Do you still have that one? Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I do. I might as well get that out. Share that again. This is always a popular one. Here it is. The Loco Hawk, modeled after Kenny Hawk's Loco Hawk. I think we did a live stream where I actually fired this up recently, didn't I? It was definitely this year. But yeah, this is a working radio control steam-powered 6x6 Jeep. Because that's a thing. It was a thing for realsies. He borrowed a steam engine from some museum and 100% ran the whole thing off of steam. The boiler was in the back, just like here. They used, I think, kerosene to fire the boiler. This functions basically the same way. It's got, how best to do this here. It's got a steam engine in the back. How else would it work? So water goes in the boiler. Butane propane mix gas goes in this tank. There's a bunch of regulators and such, and water goes in through there. Fires the boiler, boils the water, steam comes out a couple of different places. It's all radio controlled as well. So like forward, reverse, steering is obviously powered off of a battery. All the servos are powered off a battery. It runs a BEC and just gets 6 volts to everything. But there is a servo that controls the amount of steam that comes out. There's a servo that controls locomotion. No pun intended. Nick Barber. Thanks, Dan. That's exactly, 10 o'clock. I will turn that off. And then there's a miniature flywheel here. Right there. And these 2 pistons spin that flywheel, which goes to a pinion up front. This build is so dumb. Another GCM front motor mount for an SCX10. And then, so this whole thing spins, which then goes to a transfer case, which then powers all 6 wheels, because these are SCX10 axles underneath. So again, you have the option to run that output, coupled 2 outputs together, and then you run 2 pinions and you flip that axle and you get everything you need to make this whole thing work. And the whistle works too. So there you go. The body is a mixture of hard body, like a New Bright hard body Jeep. Basically here to here, and then the rest is all styrene build. And styrene holds up to heat pretty well, but I did fill the whole thing with some heat resistant foam tape. And that's it. Any plans? As a steam train engine fan, I love that rig. I'm glad you do. Thank you. I also am a huge fan of steam. In my youth, I dreamed of having my own garden railroad, and I would have made that steam in a heartbeat. Have you ever made an amphibious rig before? Had an idea to build one? I haven't, but I have considered it heavily. There's one that Cross RC makes, and it's an 8x8, and it looks really, really cool. I feel like that if I were to ever do a cross build, I would do that for sure. Yeah. Somebody was asking about drift. Oh yeah, any plans to drift the smoking Volvo? It's too hot. I feel like summer is not a good time to drift. Fall, probably a better time. I can only imagine your parts bin stuff of legends. There is, oh my gosh. You want to see a parts bin? I'll show you one. This is the more embarrassing one. It's my driver's bin. And this is all just drivers. We've got a man. There's a man that I tried out. I didn't really like that man. And we've got another man that I've removed all of the insides from, so he's a bit floppy. Floppy Joe. And then we've just got, it's just a bin full of heads, basically. We've got, there's Stan Lee's head. Oops. And we've got like Tamiya men coming out of the yin yang. I've got so many wild willies. It's like literally heads. I'm just gonna reach in, pull out a bunch of stuff, see what we got. So there's a bunch of arms and legs, 2 wild willies, a full man's leg. We got a torso. Don't think we can show that on TV. Giant cowboy hats, all this standard stuff, really. This guy, I didn't paint. This was in the Blazing Blazer parts bin that I bought from Show Dog RC when I was putting the Blazing Blazer together. So no red flags here. Yes, this is Gene Wilder. I don't know why I have him. Oh, that's from Dr. Frankenstein. Is that what that movie's called? The musical? Yeah, there's a little tiny me. Tiny version of me. So tiny. But yeah, that's so there's a parts bin for you. There's so many me's in there. There's another one. Yes, all shapes and sizes. Oh, I missed one. Yeah. Not creepy at all. Young Frankenstein, thank you. I'm having a hard time remembering everything. What's this part's been? Scale accessories. Yikes. There's a bunch of weird stuff in here too. Interior accessories and scale accessories. Yeah, we're not going through all of these tonight. You got to save something for the members. That's members only bin. All right, well, it's been an hour. Any other requests? Did anyone say, got a lot of heads in the basement? Garden Railroad, did we just become best friends? I would kill to, one, have the space for a Garden Railroad, and two, the money to have one. The red postal rig. Yes, Wes did this body for me. He did the LS Post originally for what's his name? Desmond Mooney. He did the LS Post, or the LS Mail, which is the US mail version of this, which was first. And then Wes so kindly did the LS Post, which is the Canada Post version, which is so awesome. This is a VS410, a much shorter than normal VS410. I had to move the servo pretty far back in order to make it fit under the body. It does have a lot of overhang in the rear, but this is pretty much how the real truck looks, so I was fine with that. I put this one away wet, so I'm a very bad man. But yeah, just a normal VS410 underneath. I think it has a VFD. Yeah, VFD regular. Jersey Scaler, thank you so much for becoming a member. You are a gold level ding dong. Hey Canada, you've got mail. Tegan Electronics in this, and nothing much else to report. Pretty standard stuff underneath. But is there a battery still in it like all the Vanquish guys? No. I don't know about you guys, but I take the battery out the moment I'm done with the truck. Isn't that what everybody does? You will not find a battery in any of my trucks because I am paranoid about that sort of thing. You just never know. I thought I had things in my basement. I do not have a box of little men. What's your all-time favorite rig you've built? It's a toss-up between the steam truck and the half track. I think those are both pretty high on my list. There are a couple others, though, that we might as well, since we're here, we might as well just show them. I really like, even though it's incomplete right now, I do very much like the off-road Porsche. I think this was just such a fun build to do with Josh, and it really pushed the limits of what I thought I was capable of. So this is certainly on the list. I regret the Mountain Dew livery now. I should have done something. Well, you know what? It was good for the joke. It was good for the joke. So I did order the front axle. That's coming tomorrow. So I'll have that. I'll have that back on by the end of the weekend, which is great. Hilux camper, that was never me. I don't think I did a Hilux camper. Who's got the right of refusal? Right of refusal for the LS Mail or LS Post. That probably won't ever get sold. That was a gift. The body was a gift from Wes Made, so can't really see myself getting rid of that. So Mountain Dew, the V-Speed Challenge is another one of my favorites. Not because it's fast, but because I did it all myself. This was a fun truck to build, and considering it's basically a VS410 Phoenix underneath. I was really impressed with what I was able to achieve. It's mostly the stuff underneath that is the cool stuff. The fact that this was the first time I ever worked with carbon fiber and made my carbon fiber side skirts. I thought that was pretty cool. This was my first Sencut Sen project too. So the full aluminum chassis plate underneath, all of the mounting points for the actual chassis, because we had to keep the original chassis. That was one of the rules. The transmission mounts, everything is just, it's all fabricated by me, designed by me, Sencut Sended together. But and just the paint, like everything about this, I'm just so happy with. Even this forged, well, not forged, but this, yeah, I guess it was forged carbon fiber, but I used fabric. I was just so amazed that I was able to make this. You know, that Wes is still around, isn't he? I've seen Wes around for sure. I haven't seen DK for a while either. That's true. 3 days of rain in Colorado now. Oh, that sounds familiar. Do a revamp, go for higher speed. I actually officially it's all ready to go. I've got a bigger motor. I've got more 4S's that I'm going to wire up in series. I can never remember which one's which, but I am going to do another speed run with it because why not, right? Let's see if we can make it go faster. Oh man, I loved this thing. I think it just, the look of it, even if it's not really that fast, it looks great. The Porsche needs a RWB livery. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Did you and Josh figure out your monthly Mayhem invites? We did. We did not get a huge response, but there will be some people in it. When's the Suga going to be put back together? I don't have a Suga body. The only Suga body I have right now is the little guy, which is still pretty cute. I got to say, I'm pretty chuffed with how that Ascent 18 turned out. I think it looks pretty good. But my carbon one, I put myself to the bottom of the list. I wanted everybody else to get them first. Parallel, not series. I have the right connectors for parallel. Because the problem was I found that the batteries were just like falling off a cliff. I would get like one good run and then nothing. So yeah, we'll fix that problem. We'll get this to go faster than 62 miles an hour, which still, you got to admit, for a straight axle truck is pretty darn fast. But we will get it faster than 62. I'd like to go back to that airfield again if they'll have me. I think that would be amazing. Does that still have the cast gears in the axles? I think I swapped them out for the machined ones. I'm pretty sure. Maybe off, but the Camtech's one of my favorite builds of yours. Ah, okay. All right. Interesting. I could run and get that real quick. But yeah, this was one of my favorites because it really did push the limits of what I thought I was capable of. All right, I'll go get the Camtech. I'll be right back. That actually should make an appearance on That's a Weird RC, now that I think about it. Camtech, as promised. Crazy Vaclav's Place of Automobiles shifted into H. If that counts as a Phoenix, then you fabricated it, no questions asked. I mean, it does. Underneath, it's a Vanquish VS410 Phoenix. We just didn't need to use the transmission. We had to use the rails. Had to use the axles. There are a few other things we had to do. Weird RCs are the best RCs. I agree 100%. What did Josh run? 74? Yeah, he got his to 74. No bowl, only stick. Different episode, but I will accept it. Yes, Camtechs are the best. This is a little three-wheeler with like an FRP chassis, direct drive, basically a spur pinion, no transmission, foam tires, and it rips, man. These are so fun. And the body, it's not styrene, it's not Lexan, it's styrene. And it is tough. It is really, really tough. Takes a lot of abuse. And in the racing that we were doing, it got a lot of abuse. All that pinstriping was from one night of racing. It's so great. And it's just like, it was ridiculously good fun. So for like, I think these are only like 120, 130 bucks. And pretty amazing. Squeaky doors and heads in a box. Puts the lotion on its skin. Do you plan on doing a long walk with the H10 Optic? Yes, I do. I've been actually running pretty regularly again with the intent to get up to half marathon distance again, because I want to take that optic out. I mean, this one's not stock anymore, so I don't know how fair that is. We'll have to figure something out. Maybe I'll get another one. I love the weird stuff too. Speaking, hey, yeah, did I show you? You guys have seen the KT8. Is that what this is? That's what that's called. KT8. It's like a little go-kart RC. This was from Thunder Tiger. Yeah, Thunder Tiger. I bought this used from Craig Thompson, who might still be in the chat. I refurbished it, cleaned it up, made it look like a go-kart from K1 Speed. And I took it for a little rip, made a tiny video, and I will be following up with the next episode of That's a Weird RC. We probably won't feature the Camtech yet. There's other weird stuff I want to feature first. But yeah, really happy with how this kind of got back to a good state. There's only... I hit that house I don't know how many times and no cracks. Yeah. Camtech site, 60 euros. That's it. What a deal. That is a steal. Get one, get two, get one for your friend. There's only one thing that's more fun and under $120. Oh my gosh. Hello, Matt. And Josh thought we wouldn't show on Independence Day. Yeah, much appreciated. I really do appreciate that. That's a good looking pup you got there too. I've got at least 60 miles in the optic now. My favorite trail rig. Jeremy, that's a lot. That is a hefty number. I don't know if I could beat that in one day. You briefly flashed an old-time RC 124th Sand Scorcher. What's up with that one? You mean this little guy here? This is from the guys that made the vacuum former that Josh has. I can never remember the name of the company. Spare Time Hobbies? Spare Time Hobbies is the guy that does the conversion kit for the Sand Scorcher to make it into Dippy. Who are these guys? Anybody remember? Anyone? Anyway, there it is. Zippy. I think we were going to call this one Lippy. I've never run it because I don't think it has an ESC, or it does. I don't have the radio for it. So no idea. I should paint it up to look like the other ones at least. But yeah, it's a cute little guy. Honestly, can't remember. Old time RC. That could be it, David. Thank you. But yeah, it's got a little motor and differential and basically the same kind of front suspension as a regular Sand Scorcher. And yeah, it sat on my bench for however long it was since I did the original Shippy. Yeah. I can't remember it anymore. All right. You know what? That might be a good place to end for tonight, I think. This was a fruitful episode. I showed you a little bit of paint work, which I'm going to have to knock out sooner rather than later, because I want to get this done. I wish that gold showed up better in here, but it don't. Not so good. We'll get that all wrapped up in the next couple of days. And then you got to see a lot of projects in motion as it was. Anywho, I think that's going to do it. Thank you so much, everybody. Much appreciated. Let's thank some people. Thank you to Outcast RC for becoming a new member, Wildman Joe B, Hazad, Blind Guy RC, Hazad, Phoenix RC Crawler for becoming a member, RC Pete for becoming a member, Hazad, and Jersey Scaler for becoming a member. Much appreciated, everyone. I think that's going to do it. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Go be safe with fireworks. We'll see you guys again soon. Love you. Bye.